back, let me hop back into the model and we'll go into this. What we're going to do now is introduce what we call the layout manager, and this is some newer technology where we've partnered with Trimble. Actually, now that they've purchased us, what does that make us? Their subsidiary.
Yeah, subsidiary.
So before they purchased us, we actually worked on a joint effort of them being able to use their site equipment and being able to communicate back and forth between the model. So what that means, if I come here to my component catalog and I load this layout, I'll just come in here. We have these two features, to layout line and layout points, and what this does is it just inserts an object into the model that will allow us to write information to the Trimble tools out on site so that they can survey and find exactly where these points are. So if I come in here, let me just show you a couple different settings. If I open this up, again, what you'll be able to do, you can name these, give it a group name, give it a point label, any type of description that you want, class, so forth. I have a couple that are saved here, like for example, this anchor rod. So if I load this, I'll be able to say this is going to be in the anchor bolts name, the point label is the anchor rod location, and then my description that I use is that this is going to be to the top of my anchor rods. Where we want to locate these, you can define a specific shape or whatever. So what I'll do is just go ahead and place these here in the model.
So while Lee's placing those into the model, I'll just give you a little bit of background on the Trimble and Tekla workflow here. As Lee mentioned, Tekla is now a subsidiary of the Trimble organization, and as such it gives us access to a lot more powerful tools as well, as far as the gathering of information from the site initially, and also doing exactly what Lee's doing right now, putting information out to the site in an electronic format. Now, if you've got any questions on the Trimble stuff specifically, or if you want to know more about it, just let us know. We may have, I'm looking, and we may have somebody from Trimble on in the conference right now, so perhaps I can bring them in as a panelist and they can answer some questions as well. But any questions you have, please ask them, and I'll be happy to get the correct answers to or from the Trimble guys over back to you.
So what I'm doing, I'm just locating the actual points of the slabs here, just to make sure that they were. What we'll be able to do is relay this information out to the field, and then they can snap these points and be able to see the exact layout of where all of this is supposed to be located. But this also works in reverse, that if they actually came in, oftentimes what will happen is that you'll send out your anchor bolt plans. The anchor bolts, they'll actually pour the concrete and set them, and then maybe a truck runs over them or something, and then that actually happened on a project that I worked on, and they were actually crooked, and so just us creating oversized holes didn't really work. They had to actually bore out in our base plate different locations for the holes, but we were able to get that information relayed back. If we had used this, all they would have had to do is just tag the top and the bottom points of the anchor rod in the field, relay that back to the model, and then it gives us an actual exact depiction of what the actual situation was going on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's worthwhile mentioning as well, I mean, in every single contract that we've ever seen, the fabricator has to verify the anchor bolt positions prior to fabrication. You have yet to see a construction contract without that verbiage in it. So this is one way, one man with the Trimble robot and this site surveying tool can easily go out to site, stake out all these points, or gather the information from all these points, I should say, from the tops of the anchor rods, and quickly bring them back into the Tekla model and compare them. Instead of that being a two-man job taking all day, that can be a one man for a couple of hours in the morning.
Yeah. So what I'll do is any of those layout points that we add into the model are actually stored in our layout manager here, and I'll just go ahead and open up here. You can see how it's all drilled down. So if I minimize these, you can see the different groups. So all my concrete stuff, then my anchor bolt stuff, and then it has these actual located, and when I click them, they'll be able to highlight in the model, and vice versa. What I select in the model will be highlighted here. And then you can also see all this information down here at the bottom, the X, Y, and Z, all this different types of information. And so what we can do now is that we can actually export this information back out to the model. But what we'll do is, this is just going to take points, and we'll also export a drawing so that when they see the points on their interface, they'll have a drawing and it'll help give them a point of reference. So to do that, there's a couple of different things. The drawing scale calculator. So what we can do here is that whatever you have your drawing, if it's 1 to 48, 196, 128, or whatever, I believe that I have mine at 120. We'll find out. But what this will do is that it'll actually create this drawing scale that I need to export this out so that it works with their equipment. So I'll just copy this and then just come in and open my drawing list. So that's the drawing that we want to export. So I'll go to File, Export Drawings, and let me actually just close that down. So we'll just have it as the foundation plan. I'll come over to my options here and just paste that in, and then just hit export. And what that will do is it'll come in, create that drawing for me, store it in my model folder, and that way I can load it onto the Trimble stuff. One last thing that I'll do is go to the layout manager now, and then what I'll do is actually export this job file so that these can be read in there as well. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and give this let's see, Fabricator Series 1 or something like that, whatever the name is. I could include that there, but I'll just end up linking it later. So I'll just go ahead and hit export. It says that it's complete, and I'll go ahead and close this.